So in terms of genre, I mean, I range and I fluctuate, and it's what I feel at the time. So I don't really have a box that I like to stay in, really.
Well, and that's absolutely right. I mean, you're spot on, because I saw, you had a lot of acoustic type music, nice, slow, and it's, you really have to be good to do that, right? So I looked at one of your videos and I'm like, wow, he's got some range, and you're one of these guys that could sing if someone were like tapping cups together in a bar for you to sing, and it would sound beautiful. Your music doesn't drown out your vocals, and your vocals are just excellent. And they're subtle, the way you carry notes, and it's unbelievable, and you do it with ease. And so I wanted to ask you, of course, how you got started, how did you start playing the instruments, and more importantly, who produces your music?
Where I got started. It all started when I was in primary school. I always say this story, but
it's okay.
There was basically tryouts for a choir, and I wasn't really too interested, but I only tried it because you get to miss maths class, and I didn't. So I went for it, and I was hitting notes I never hit before. Anyway, I got put into the choir. Then my choir teacher kind of recognized that I had some sort of talent there. Mm-hmm. I didn't take it too seriously. She put me in the front line, and kind of went from there. Then I went to secondary school. Then I kind of dabbled in a few instruments in my primary school, but secondary school is where they kind of put you in a room with loads of instruments. And I remember the first lesson, it was my music teacher. He said, just walk around, I'm going to play a song, and you guys just do what you want. And we were like, yes, this is awesome. Because obviously there was no structure to the lesson from a child's point of view, but obviously from his point of view, he wanted to pick out those people, I think, who he could tell had a musical ear. So I was going around playing instruments, trying to find the note that he was playing to in the same key, in the same scale. And he came up to me at the end and he said, you're going to have no problem with music. And I didn't really understand it at the time, but because I just thought, it was a DOS lesson. You just go in there, you start picking up instruments. Everyone was just like, talking to themselves, talking amongst themselves, just messing around with instruments. So then I picked up guitar, started playing it, started learning it, played piano. I've never really had real proper lessons. I had a few lessons in secondary school, but the rest, piano, guitar, all these other instruments, I just kind of picked up myself, except for the dilaba, which is this one here.
Yep. Oh, Yep. I know what that is. Yep.
Indian classical instrument, which is, I infuse this in every single one of my tracks. This is like my signature.
And I picked up on that in a couple of your songs. I said, you know what, he's retaining his culture and adding it, in addition to the pop music, and that's excellent, because you don't really hear a lot of that. And I thought that was great. And it fit very well in your music.
Thank you very much. So yeah, then it just kind of went from there. Secondary school, I started making songs. In terms of composing the music, I compose it myself. Writing it, I write it myself. And producing it, I produce it myself too.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason why is very difficult to explain. In my head, I have a really strong vision, and I want to achieve that vision. And I know what I want, but sometimes I don't know how to achieve it. So what I would do in my earlier stages of my music career is I would rent out a studio, but then I'd have a sound engineer who knows how to use the program. And I would say to him, look, I want it to sound like this. I want it to sound like it's in a tunnel. And, I didn't have all the technical words like reverb and ping pong delay and things like that. That came later when I started teaching myself and I started kind of learning and educating on the musical software side of things.
Yep.
But I always have a strong vision. And funnily enough, when I'm composing and producing the songs, I always have a strong vision of the music video. So I know what I want in the music video. So sometimes I will base the music video in my head and help that sculpture and mold the music itself.
So carry on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so you mentioned the videos. Your videos look very professional.
Thank you.
And the It's Okay, I really like that. I really like the way you put that together. And it's like you are a major artist with that video. And I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn because I don't know where you are in the UK with your, you know, where you rank in your music with the UK, right? So, you know, in the West, it's like bubblegum, pop, and hip hop, and top 40. That's what makes it. And see, I'm not going to bash those artists, but I love international artists. I like to see what other music is out there. You seem like you're like a savant when it comes to the production and the video and the vocals and the instrument play. Has anybody picked you up? Has anybody, you know, I want to know, where are you at in your career? Because I think I saw you shaking hands the other day selling a car.
Yeah.
So where are we at with our music career?
Music career-wise, it's always been a passion for me. It always will be a passion. I mean, I've achieved some really, really great kind of things with my music career. It got the BBC Track of the Week.
Oh, nice.
I was on the radio with the BBC as well. You know, I've been featured on MTV in some other countries as well as UK. So in terms of musical progression, it's definitely getting there.
Excellent.
I have been approached by a few different labels and managers and independent labels as well. But I don't think it's my time right now just yet to kind of commit to a label, because I think my creativity and my vision is so strong at this point in what I want to achieve. It's nothing to do with, you know, a lot of people mistake an artist for a very diva type attitude or an arrogant type attitude. I don't think it's that. I think it's just when you're so passionate about something and you know how you want it to sound, and you don't want to be rushed into a song.
Sure.
You don't want to say, all right, I've got a deadline and it has to be finished by this time. Because sometimes, you know, I've had songs where I've sat on them, and I still have them, where I've sat on them for about 2 years, and then it's progressed into something it is now. For example, the next track I'm going to release is called, it might be Far Away or it might be Second Chance. The song is called Second Chance or Far Away, but I'm not sure which one I'm going to release first. But both I composed 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And today it's changed into something completely different. I mean, I mastered that song a year ago, and I thought, you know what? No, I don't want to release it like this. And I changed it completely, production-wise. It is literally a whole new song. But I think it sits better today in today's current kind of market.
Sure.
If I would have released it a year ago. So I think in terms of my musical progression, career-wise, it's definitely something that I don't want to rush, and I see as something that, you know, it organically will happen. If something happens in the future, you know, if Lord willing, whatever the Lord wants to happen, I'm cool with that. I'm down with that. And I think it will happen when the time is right. Maybe I'll cross paths with somebody who maybe shares my vision and understands me as an artist and doesn't want to rush me.
Sure.
Then I'm cool to collaborate with that person, and we can kind of hit new heights. In terms of the cars, that's just a side passion I have, which kind of stumbled on, another kind of business opportunity. So I'm always collaborating with people and shaking hands with people. I love to do that. I think life's about networking. If you don't network, you know, you're not going to meet enough people. You don't experience new things. So I love making people happy, you know, and, you know, the car thing, when you see a person smile like that and, you know, they get a new car.
Well, let me reiterate. I said you sell cars, but you sell very nice cars. Yeah, Aston Martins. Yeah, you're not selling, you know, Chevy, old Chevys, or, you know, some low-end Chevys. You're selling, you know, some very expensive cars. So let me add that. But to your point about networking, it's funny you say that, because some of the folks that I've interviewed, that's what they're all about. There are two artists that I interviewed recently in the UK, and they have the exact same mind frame. They want to retain their creativity. They don't want to rush and have to meet a deadline. And you know, it's like when you have a job and you're working for a paycheck, you've got to meet those deadlines, right? Whether you want to do it or not. And it's like, I'm the same way when it comes to these interviews. I don't want to constantly book interviews and go, gosh, I got that interview, or Saturday I gotta look, it's not fun anymore, right? Okay. I have to do it, and then I become just very numb in the interviews. I want to retain my enthusiasm, and I want to reach out to those people that I really want to interview, so no, I totally get it. I get exactly what you're saying, but that is excellent. And I think that, you've got a humility about yourself. And, you kind of remind me of, who the artist Beck is?
I haven't heard, no.
Beck? Well, Beck, see, he sang pop, and then he sang these weird, and not saying your music is weird, but he would deviate from different genres. And he just got a music award this past year.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard him when he started years ago, but he's creative like that, and he does his own thing, which is great. So, and I totally see that in your music as well. So, where have you performed? Do you perform regularly? How does that work?
I've performed in a few different theaters previously. With my current material, not yet, and I'm looking to probably do that sometime soon. I think I would seek out someone to manage me on that side of things, because I'm doing so many things at once. And when you have a busy life, busy schedule, it really helps to have someone who can network on your behalf in terms of performance and schedules and lineups and things like that. So yeah, definitely. Performing is something that I would love to get into a little bit more at this moment in time. I have performed before, and I really do enjoy it, and it's a great feeling. It's an outlet. I kind of feel like I'm not me when I'm performing. It's just something that just happens, and it just takes over, and you're in your own little bubble. And it's sometimes when you're overwhelmed with something, for me, music is just my complete and utter outlet.
Sure.
So it's an amazing experience. Completely love it.
So you, it definitely comes out in your music. You look very comfortable, and I have to say, I had a feeling that you were directing those videos after I watched it, and of course it said directed by Amrit. But I had a feeling, because the It's Okay, that's the one where you're fighting.
Yeah.
Yep. I said, I bet he directed that, because I saw some martial arts in some of your videos. And again, I'm interviewing Amrit Ghatore from London, and you've got to check out his video. It's okay. And just so you know, I'll play your music in the background, and I'll have the song stream across the video once I edit it, just so people know. So let's talk about that, the martial arts. So what have you taken, like Krav Maga? What have you taken? What martial arts have you taken? Because it clearly shows in the videos.
I've been doing karate ever since the age of 4.
Oh wow!
The best thing about it, is my dad's my instructor.
Oh, outstanding! Outstanding.
So it was something I was born into.
Okay.
I didn't have a choice. Literally every single day, came back from home, I would go to karate classes without any question. I didn't like it when I was a teenager and I was in secondary school, because I'd be going to the dojo every single day, and my friends were out cycling on their bicycles, going out,
being kids, yeah.
And I never had that, I never had that when I was a kid. But do you know what? I never ever will say I regret.
Oh no!
Because you know what?
Yep.
Martial arts has given me the opportunity. Karate has given me the discipline in order for me to do every single thing that I do in my life right now. Every single, business now, company running, this cars, and the music and the modeling and the acting and all these things. To be able to fit it in a daily scheduled life, and to be able to make sure you have drive and discipline, it's only because of karate. And when I was young, obviously, you don't see that.
Well, it's hard to see it. You have a different purview, or you want to play. you're distracted by your friends. But no, I clearly saw that. I took Kung Fu as a kid, and my uncle instructed me. He's reached monk status, and I did not have to do it all the time, but we had a set schedule, and I too didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I wanted to play, and we would do it from, I think it was like 6 to 8, and I was just like not a happy camper, having to do it. But to your point, what I got out of it, and of course him being my uncle, it was all about the discipline, right? And the lessons in life later on down the road. So no, to your point, that's a great lesson. But I mean, you turned out okay. You turned out okay. But that's excellent. So so let's talk about women or whatever, partners, whatever you're into. So do you have a partner that supports you? Do you have challenges with that?
I don't. I'm single at the moment.
Okay. All right. No, you've got some beautiful women and I actually thought that the woman in It's Okay was your lady.
Yeah,
that's some good acting. That's great acting.
I try, my brother.
No, it was excellent. It's an emotional video, and you did so well. I did think it was your lady. So no, I'm looking forward to your other music and your other videos, and I think that one benefit that you have above a lot of the artists, I mean, they're good-looking people, they make good music, but they don't do videos. They have no videos. And I think that's missing, and that's expensive. And so with that, I wanted to ask you how, because I mean, you're not just taking, the iPhone here and shooting a video, okay? Yeah. You have some pretty good direction in cinematography in your videos, and you have great angles, and so. How are you funding? And I don't want to get in your business, but I do this for other artists that, go to the page and watch the videos. How are you going about funding? Not to get too personal, but how do you fund these extravagant, professional-grade videos?
So with that one, I don't know if you've seen my new video, Burn. You seen the new video, Burn?
Oh yeah, I just watched it. Yeah, the one in color. Yes.
The black and white one, the one with the guns.
Oh yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Where you, yeah, absolutely, you did a little martial arts there, taking down the guy. Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of video funding that, okay. So my first ever video was Killing Me Inside, and people won't believe it, but it took me a long time to find the people that had my vision, and I've gone through about 3. I've gone through 3 different people, cinematography wise, shooting my videos until I found the perfect person. I think I found that. Killing Me Inside was funded, and I made that with £500.
No kidding. Okay.
But the reason why it looked so good is because there was a ridiculous amount of hard work put into it. Do you know what people say? Oh, I can't afford to do this video. Yes, you can. You know why? Because if you structure everything, you organize everything, if you get families involved, you get friends involved, you make sure that, you have your car, okay, use your car, okay, if you want a nice scenic place, don't go to Miami, go try to find a good place in England and make it work,
Yep.
A lot of it is about making it work yourself, because, I've learned that in the movie industry, because I do a lot of acting on the side as well, for big major companies. And I realized how important it is to have a production team.
Sure.
And if you don't have that budget, the most important thing is lighting, location, and whether or not you can get extras and make it look good. So I've gone through a fair amount of cinematographer teams, and I've come across, I think, the person that I think I would really gel well with, and his name's Pierre Germain, and he's got a team with him. They're called Empire Creatives. And they really get my vision, really do. It's awesome because me and him, we kind of gel really, so close.
Sure.
When I have a vision, he can understand that vision. And the best thing about it is sometimes you come across people who are in cinematography and they make videos and they're very controlling and they want what they are seeing to come across.
Sure.
But when you're an artist and you have a vision, you already know what you want, and you can portray that to someone, and they allow that to happen, but then also help support you and add new ideas. Because for me as an artist, if I'm very rigid thinking and I don't allow other people's thoughts and opinions to rub off on me,
yep.
I become very limited into what I can do. So it's very important, me as an artist, to make sure that, okay, I have a strong vision, I've got that, that's good, but then listen to other people as well. So we've got a really good relationship. And in terms of budget for that video, you know, it's not far off, you know, from my first budget. But slowly my budget is increasing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Music wise, it's helping me now. I'm getting some sort of return on my music now. So everything I got in my music, I reinvest and I reinvest and I reinvest. Music is something for me that is not. I'm not looking for it to be a profitable area just yet. That's why I have all the other businesses and
sure.
everything else that I do on the side. So music can solely be a passion for me,
yep.
and I can keep reinvesting in it. You know, say tomorrow I get an event and I'm you know, I get paid £10,000 or £15,000 for an event or whatever it is. That will go straight back into music. I'm not the type of person who's going to say, "Oh, I'm going to buy a flashy car."
Sure.
That's not the way it works, you know. So I'm the reinvesting type of guy in terms of, you know, music. So that's how it's funded itself. Just keep reinvesting.
Well, you're probably you are probably one of the smarter artists out there that reinvest in themselves. Now there are a few people that do that, but to your point, a lot of people would take that money and buy flashy clothes, you know. But you're doing it the right way. You're absolutely doing it the right way. I mean, you're. If I didn't know you after this interview, I would have thought that, you know, you were just way up there with your videos. I mean, you're seriously, not that you're not, but again, the only perspective I can draw from is the West and how we do music and how they manage the artists and what have you. Because what's the first thing you see in the videos? Women in cars. You know, that's not all the artists. It's a lot of them. So no, that's excellent. So earlier you talked about your software, and I asked you about who produces your music, and you said you. So what software programs do you use to create your music?
So I'm using Ableton Live at the moment.
Seems to be popular.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to use as well as Ableton Logic, but I just seem to be stuck on Ableton because I'm so familiar with it, you know. And I've got this MIDI. Let me have a check. I've got this MIDI controller that push to, which is amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And that syncs quite well with it. So yeah, it's mostly just Ableton and Logic.
That's amazing. I produced music. Now I'm not anywhere on the level where you are because I mean I'm married, got a family, and you know all the responsibilities that come with it, right? So years ago, I produced music. I had an album, and in Chicago, it's I did a house track, but I started with Ableton, and then I actually started with Reason. Then I did Ableton, and I think I used some other software, but then I migrated over to Logic. Logic is it's good, but it seems to me that a lot of art. I can tell you right now, there are 5 artists I interviewed, and they're using Ableton.
Yeah,
they're using Ableton, and one guy, he produces house music. His name is Who's Jody, and I heard his song. I'm like, when he told me he produced on Ableton, my jaw hit the ground. And the same with you. But yeah. I've been hearing that a lot lately, and you could never tell. And you know, I want to say that one of the Transformer movies was created in either Pro Logic or I forget the other one, because there was a video on YouTube. I was blown away that somebody did the soundtrack to Transformers. The actual soundtrack was on a software program. But anyway, your music sounds fantastic. So how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
28.
You're young. You're very young. So I would say in the next 5 years, I'll probably see you on some things in the West. quite often. If you're doing your acting now, and what's great is that we have the Netflix and the Hulus of the world and the Prime Videos where you're getting that international exposure, right? And I watch a lot of international films, and I would love to see you in something, in a movie, and I'll go, you know what? I know that guy. I got a video of him. But I see you down the road in something major, some series or something. I mean, you just have that personality, and you've got that humility, and you've got that look about you, and you're like you're a triple threat. I mean, I saw you doing a little dancing, you know, in your burn video. Yeah, so I'm excited to see your success. I was excited to interview you. I was excited to hear your music, and you know, artists like you make my brand more equitable, right? Because you can actually sing. And so I've interviewed a lot of artists, and I try to interview good up and coming indie artists that go well with the page and the station. And like I said before, the majority of my artists come out of the UK, and that's exciting to me because they're very humble, and just the humility, I'm blown away by it, you know. And all I would ask is that, you know, promote the station, promote the web page. Your video's going to be up, and whatever music you get, you know, if you want me to play it, just let me know. Just make sure you send cover art, because that's the biggest issue I have now with a lot of folks. They'll send me music and no cover art. Well, that does you a disservice.
Yeah.
You know, it does you a disservice, and it's a lot of work for me to add it. And come after you to get it. So I've actually changed the way I do this moving forward, because it's just too time consuming. I've got over 800 artists' music, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So before we conclude, give us your artist name again, where we can find your music, the audience can find your music, and the next big thing that you're going to release or come out with.
I'm not too sure which one it's going to be yet. Far Away or Second Chance. It might have to be Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So my name's Amrit Ghatore. You can find me on Instagram, which is my biggest kind of point of contact at the moment. Okay. My Instagram is amrit.ghatore. So that's amrit.ghatore. And you can find my music anywhere on Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Store, iTunes. So all the major stores will have my music on there. And YouTube as well. Most of them are all on YouTube. If you look at my Amrit Ghatore Vevo account, you'll have a look at all those videos that we worked so hard to make.
They're excellent.
And the next song, I am thinking it might be Valentine's Day, hopefully.
Excellent.
And that video, I'm aiming for that one to hopefully be the best of all so far.
Now
I'm hoping to break.
Now is that going to be dance or slow?
It's gonna
ballad?
Be acoustic. Yeah, you can say ballad, acoustic piano.
Okay, excellent.
Going to be using the keys.
Excellent. Okay.
Definitely, yeah. So that one, I've visualized that one in my head for some time now, and I was actually meant to do it last year, February, but you know, things don't happen when you want them to happen. They happen when it's meant to happen.
Exactly, when it's supposed to happen.
When it's supposed to happen. So I'm hoping and I'm hopeful that it will happen on Valentine's Day. And if it doesn't, I am sorry. But I will try my best to get it on Valentine's Day. Even if the song comes out then. But the video, I don't want to rush. The video is such a beautiful vision in my head. I really want to capture this. There's a lot of favors I'm going to have to ask, though, to try to get it done. So,
well, if I were in your team and I could invest in you, based on what I've seen, you wouldn't even have to ask me.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely. My last question: what's the favorite book that you've ever read? Your most favorite book that you've ever read?
Book. It was probably when I was young, then maybe. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Okay. Have you ever read any nonfiction books that you liked? This is just a question I'm trying to ask everybody from now on.
I'm more of a listener. I like listening.
Okay.
More than, but not really. No.
Okay.
I like nonfiction books. I don't mind.
Okay.
But none in particular.
Okay. Just curious. Okay. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to conclude the interview, and thank you very much. I know it's Saturday. It's what, almost 7 your time?
Yeah. 7 days.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that.
Oh, no. Thank you for sending your music, supporting the station, and taking the time out for the interview. I really appreciate it. I think you're a talented individual, and I look forward to seeing your other music and where you end up, in your career. I'm very excited to see what happens to you. So, and again, I'm blessed to have you interview, and thank you very much. And with that, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, Amrit, and it was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. All right. Thank you. You take care.